You think it depends on how good you are. Your good deeds are as filthy rags, but you have more filthy rags than I did, so you were healed,
Mhm.
and I wasn't. My teacher, Marty, goes, um, he thinks it comes from this place of wanting to give thanks to God. And so we reflect our thankfulness up to God. But in that, there's this, I think my word would be byproduct of we send our thankfulness up to God, but when we aren't healed, we suddenly put God's name in a bad light because God could heal,
Mhm.
but he doesn't. God could take care of that, but he doesn't. The Bema group that I'm a part of, Marty teaches this Bema course, Bema podcast. Uh, and my Tuesday night group going over this, the discussion group, talked about Job and how Job's life fell apart, how there was illnesses, how people died, how all this was just ruinous for him. And they go, the thing that Job doesn't have in the book that we have as we go through the book is perspective. We get to see this challenge of Satan and God to see if Job will be faithful or not. Um, I don't think God and Satan are having bets on my life whether I'm going to be faithful or not. Uh, but it does go when I'm in a bad time, what is my perspective? And could there be a bigger perspective that could make the situation right, even if I don't have it, and even if it's not going to be accessible to me
Mhm.
uh, ever? So I think it's right to want to give thanks to God for healing, but I think we're just left in this place of going like, I don't know if I have the right perspective for the non-healing. Uh,
Not for yourself individually. You're talking about other people who are
I don't,
seeing this.
I don't know if I have the right perspective for non-healing for myself.
Mm.
Like if I'm the one sick and God doesn't heal,
Mhm.
when Paul goes, he sought the Lord 3 times to be healed,
Mhm.
and still has a thorn in his side.
Mhm.
Like, what's Paul's perspective of like, here I am, the best missionary ever, super humble,
Mhm.
and he can't even get healed. Uh,
But he did get a word from the Lord that gave him a better understanding of his outcome, of God's decision for him, of the authority that God has over him, right? So do you think that I would think, in my perspective, like the benefit that people had in the Bible was hearing directly from Jesus, having Jesus directly in front of them, like the leper.
mm-hmm.
He said, "It's your choice. I get it. It's your choice. I'm here, present, hoping that you will. Jesus, I will." We don't have other stories really, right? Where a leper came to Jesus and was like, "If you're willing, I'm ready." And Jesus going, "Tomorrow? Can I see you here tomorrow?"
I am unprepared.
I'm unprepared, right? Spirit's not present for me to heal. Tomorrow it is, if you'll meet me back here at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
God doesn't show up.
I will carry you down to the rushing waters
Yeah,
when they
we,
stir.
we won't have that story, and so that's where I go, are we missing out on some of those stories where things didn't happen? And I, like you, I don't know. But what we do have are specific stories that kind of paint another picture. We do have after Peter's mother-in-law in Matthew 8, all of those multitude of people that came to Jesus. So
Mm-hmm.
word got out somehow, some way or another. Jesus is here, he's present, and he's healing people.
Mm-hmm.
Bring everyone you can. Bring anyone and everyone. Do you think that people with colds and people without limbs came to Jesus? I mean, what do you think the extent was? Like, you know, my finger doesn't lay flat on the table anymore. Can I go get that healed?
Mm-hmm.
Can you just sort this out for me? Like I got a pain right here. Man. Are we going for anything? Are we going for a headache? Or are we going for major things? Like I was born with one kidney. and I'd like a second the way it should have been, you know.
Hmm.
That's what I don't know, right?
In that same class with Rabbi Wolf,
Mhm.
it talked about a guy, I think it was ALS, that locked him up, confined to a bed, was a teacher, could no longer teach, can no longer do anything. And he goes, God still has a purpose for me, even in this sickness. Even in this, he has a computer screen that can watch his eyes, and he can speak through his eyes on the computer screen for the computer to talk,
No
and people
way.
come by and will listen to what he has to say. He goes,
His
he's
eyes could move fast, like his eyes could move normal.
not fast, but able to look at it and know what he's looking
No
at.
way.
He's given the opportunity for others to be a blessing to him, that they're able to take care of him when that wasn't a thing they'd be able to do before.
Mhm.
It's a mitzvah that they get to do that wasn't possible before. It's such an interesting thing to go, even in this horrible locked in disease. It's not, I wish I was how I should be. It's, even in this, God has purpose.
Yeah.
God has a way to teach me and teach others and bring people closer to Him.